We've had several new releases recently from HomeTeam. So, right, so out of the 136 games released now, I mean, the YEG literally just came out this weekend. Spark, not long before that, end of November, was that, and Robo Explorer. Hover Tactics was in October. We have a new update for Hover Tactics that I wanted to share that I think is pretty cool. So the game released in October, but then throughout a good chunk of November, the lead, Bilal, who's also got a YouTube channel, I'll probably link in the description if you want to check that out, he did an update to it, so now it also runs on Android phones. So I've got it here in the Play Store, opening it up, and I'll also do a little quick screen share of the WebGL original version so you can see how it plays. But often, even when we make games in HomeTeam that play on Android phones or VR or use a gamepad to feel like a console game, etc., we tend to also make a free WebGL version as well, so you can see and compare. Even if you don't have that device, it's easier to work on for other team members, that kind of thing. But, you know, again, I'm not going to do too much zooming around here, but you'll see here the same features I'm going to show in the game of awesome graphics, nice rendering pipeline. You can double tap on the joystick to fire. You can still shift between all three mechs. I'm not even for the game Lost Vikings. We can place down these portals. But basically, there's 3 styles of ships of different sizes and scales that you switch between to navigate the world and overcome obstacles. But it'll be easier to see in the screen share of the web version. So speaking of which, that web version, if I check that out here on the screen share, he's got a nicely stylized itch page. Of course, leads and HomeTeam can host their own games on itch, so they get direct access to the metrics, so they can more easily do an update anytime they feel like. But it was a team project, right? So in addition to Bilal, Will, Tiago, Felipe, Noman, Patrick, Abhishek, and Philip also worked on it as well. And so this is one of many HomeTeam games I actually had kind of no involvement in, aside from helping the lead plan it out and kind of helping support team members who had questions about how to do certain things, but I wasn't directly on the team. So we got our intro. There's our 3 styles of mechs. All right, so obviously easier to see here on the computer screen, but we've got a couple different kinds of ships, right? And they have different weapons. So this one has a machine gun, as well as a awesome laser, like you probably saw on the phone. And then you can see we have tab to switch between our 3 different active mechs. So of course a totally different UI than the phone version, but fancy work Bilal. We've got a machine gun on this one. This one also can shoot portals. So let me show that, right? So I can like, boop, shoot out a portal. And now the reason for that weapon, for example, so this is Calamity. It's the 3rd mech. It's the biggest. It has rockets. It also has a big old shockwave. Kaboosh! But it starts inside of this fence, and it's the biggest ship, so its boost doesn't get it very effectively over that fence. What we can do, though, and I kind of like this as sort of a great sort of training mission thing for the player to figure out the controls and way around the world. So this ship can use a pretty cool boost that's actually, it basically acts as a teleport. It snaps. So it can be used to push past a laser fence. Make sure I avoid these bad guys. And as I make my way down to Calamity, that's part of what's cool, by the way, the camera... hit the mine, get out of there. There's Calamity. Right, so I'm going to shoot a portal over it. Boop. And so now I can use switching to Calamity to escape. And so they're in trouble now. All right, so we got our big shockwave attack. Rockets, let me make sure that one's safe over there. Not under fire too bad. And of course, this is again part of what's cool about the mechanic, where those shields, they're active for your inactive ships, but they can still, I believe, get worn down. And those shields also deplete as you ignore the ship, which helps encourage getting the player to leverage multiple ships to switch it up, so you don't spend too much time on a single one. And he's got all these nice details down here, including, you know, in general, the game's polish is outstanding. So let me find my way up to a building to take out. This one's also got a dash, but not a teleport. You get that nice juice shake and particles and awesome explosions just all around. Really came out stellar, and impressive how well the look really came across in the translation to mobile, where, you know, it can sometimes feel like when you go to mobile you're going to lose your shaders or your lighting or your something. It really doesn't feel compromised at all when you look at it in the Android, in addition to reworking the design of the UI. Again, like that was Bilal kind of like a post-release final lap update on top of it. So thank you, Bilal, for helping adapt it to mobile. That's awesome. I want to mention, obviously, it's free, right? Not like free to play in the sense of like buried microtransactions, also, but like literally just free, fully playable in browser from HomeTeamGameDev.com/games with other 136 games we released so far. I guess 136 total so far, including YEG that released last weekend. That's like an overhead heist. Spark, which is like an adventure, town RPG, you know, make the town happy, Animal Crossing type of environment, JRPG style graphics. We've got Robo Explorer, which is a platformer retro, kind of feels like a DOS game. It's inspired. It's built directly on my video courses, right? Like how to program games or my introductory textbook and that kind of material. But a ton of games, right? Ton of it, all free, including the Android version of this is also completely free. So check it out. If you don't mind leaving a rating or review, of course, it would mean a lot to Bilal and the team. But it's just cool now for everybody who's on the team. They have a game on the Play Store. They've got a mobile game to develop that they did the design for. They made the decisions about. They did the art and graphics for, UI design for. That's cool. That's useful. And that's the sort of thing we love to see people doing in HomeTeam, which again, we've got games now that supported VR, games that support game controllers. A lot of it is native for web, if only because then it's easier for teammates to collaborate, to make sure they can show it more easily to friends and family who don't necessarily have the exact same compatible device or hardware or input mechanism. But we do also support these other things as well, when and if the leads or, people on the team are up for it. So that's what I want to share today about Hover Tactics. Super awesome work, everybody. You can check out those games. Or, of course, you can build games with us in HomeTeam at HomeTeamGameDev.com. Find out all about our stuff there, which includes, like I mentioned in the other video the other day, we have had an increase in our Patreon sponsors lately. So on the application form, if we would need financial support to be able to take partner group, you wouldn't be able to cover the dues yourself consistently, sustainably for the longer term, check that box. That's what it's there for. We'd love to have you apply, love to have you part of our community, building games with us, learning, applying yourself, trying out the things you want to try in the context of projects like this. They're all just member-led, member-pitched. Like I think we've probably got like 7 or 8 or 9 or something going on right now. So any given time, new stuff pitching, new stuff releasing, new stuff getting made. Would love to have you be part of it. Building games with us, like Hover Tactics and HomeTeam. Thank you so much again. And again, reminder, also check out in the description Bilal's YouTube channel, where in addition to other videos he posts, I think actually has multiple channels, but the video channel I linked to there is where he's been sharing his weekly updates to this project. And literally you can see how the project evolved 1 week at a time. Because I like to emphasize, right, with HomeTeam, it's very much not like a full-time thing. It's something where people fit in an evening or two a week. Different people chip in little bits here and there, but it adds up. And we build a structured plan from the beginning. So we declare, here's the release date. It comes out on that release date and just adds up. The little bit of an evening or two there, here or there we can fit in. How the pieces from teammates come together is what it's all about in HomeTeam as our process for sustainable practice game development. That's it for the day. Congratulations, Bilal and team. Hover Tactics looks and plays awesome. People should go check it out and play it, and then perhaps build games with us. That's it for the day. Bye for now.